cue the bullishness. I'm already starting to see a whole bunch of bullish videos on YouTube, right? Soon as we get the green candles, everybody mindset seems to change, right? It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'm back with another one. And this is what I was talking about when we trade between these ranges, right? Peak range, you get a lot of euphoria. Towards the bottom of the range, you get a lot of bearish vibe. So again, right, the psychology of this market is to prepare and do the opposite of what you see the masses doing, right? And if you've been doing that, you've probably been very, very successful throughout this crypto cycle. It's important to note that adoption, right? Crypto adoption is rising, right? I talked about how pump fund has this negative connotation on it, but when you look at the onboarding process, whether people get onboarded and rugged, most of those people still stick around and start to dig deeper into the rabbit hole, right? So of course you'll get those people who get rugged and leave, but most people, I'm speaking even for myself, get into meme coins and then eventually start to go down the rabbit hole of crypto, and you start messing around with utility and other cryptocurrency tokens. Let me know in the comments your journey and how you specifically got onboarded into crypto. I love reading those type of comments. Key findings here: 52% of Americans sold stocks or gold to purchase Bitcoin, right? There's also the elephant in the room of this boomer money that gets passed down. Will these degens buy stocks or will they buy crypto? If you just look at the aspect of what's happening in the trenches, it's a good chance they'll buy crypto, right? Not specifically the trenches though, because there are pros and cons of the trenches, and I would say as the market is right now, the trenches are rigged against you based off insider information. Donald Trump's win. The win of Donald Trump prompted 30% of Americans to increase their crypto investments. In 2025, 77% of Americans plan to increase their crypto investments. Guys, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We really want to get this engagement up in the channel. And also, if you're into talking about other things outside of crypto, I just started a anime and movie channel, so if you guys interested in want to continue a conversation over there, let me know in the comments, and those who are interested, I will share the link in the comments. Now this is pretty cool, right? So we are seeing massive adoption from crypto. In fact, this is from a reputable website. The adoption rate of crypto has been described as growing 43% faster than mobile phones and 20% faster than the internet, something we use each and every day. What are we seeing? Each and every day, people are leaving their jobs in some cases and connecting that little piece in the back of their head, I would say, entering the matrix, the trenches, and then going full-time Web3, whether it's gambling in the casino, whether it's building or developing a utility within the AI sector. You are seeing a lot of adoption across the crypto space, right? So it is, important to note here that even though we do get these corrections, these black swan events, there are a lot of bullish things that are happening in crypto. And you have to ignore the outside news. The global crypto market cap has surged from 1.6 trillion to 3.1 trillion in 2024, which represents a 96% increase. So while a lot of people would argue, well, Millie, the total cryptocurrency market cap isn't going up, it actually has. And these are the official numbers here. So unofficial, official, right? Maybe not, like I said, this came from a reputable website, but a lot of these numbers can be manipulated, because we thought we had 2 billion in losses in crypto the other day, and it came up to 8 to 10 billion. So just take a lot of this information with a grain of salt. From a chart perspective, we still haven't invalidated the double top just yet, but we are seeming to start a uptrend, right, and put in a higher low from here. The bullish hopium here is that we can kind of like trade within this range. The bottom of the range here is 93,000. The top of our range here is about 105, and get some sort of stock RSI reversal. If we can just stay within this range and get our stock RSI reversal, there's a good chance that Bitcoin goes higher, which coincides with the liquidity pools here on the leverage liquidation heat map. Let's actually go to the weekly so we can just be a little bit more precise from what we're actually seeing. The market can go either way. You got these liquidity magnets at a 100K and also 95K. So just giving you a visual of this range that we're in. You can clearly see this range that we've been in, right? And we've been in this range since what, back here. I'm not sure what February was. This February, um, what's this, February 5th? So we've been in this range actually longer than this. Actually, let's go to the month so you can actually see things from a monthly perspective, right? We still got this liquidity magnet here at 80, but we also got a liquidity magnet here at about 110. So you can see we've been in this nice little range, and a lot of people have just been overreacting and ignoring the bullish catalyst that we have been seeing throughout crypto. So I'm gonna be also talking about when potentially the altcoin season can start, because I know a lot of people want these altcoin season videos. I'll try to sneak a Jasmy TA video in as well before I go to the gym. So I'll do both of those. I'll do the Jasmy, but I'll post schedule the Jasmy video a little bit later. All right, so let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance here. Bitcoin dominance, very similar to what we've seen in previous cycles. A lot of people don't talk about this, how we had this false breakout on the Bitcoin dominance here. Let me actually show you guys. False breakdown on the, excuse me, I said breakdown. But yeah, false breakdown on the Bitcoin dominance here before the Bitcoin dominance ran all the way up. Again, here, 2020, we had the false breakdown where everybody thought altcoin season was going to start around August, and then Bitcoin dominance rose again and then broke all the way down here, and we had our altcoin season. If you just look at what's been going on in the current cycle, we haven't had an altcoin season yet. We haven't. We want it to come, and I know we want it to happen fast. Everybody wanted it to happen in the beginning of the year, but it's a good chance that it happens when you least expect it. What we can clearly see here is that we haven't had an altcoin season. This was an altcoin season, and this was an altcoin season, 2017. We haven't had one. We haven't had the altcoin Bitcoin dominance here come to capitulate to those areas where we can confidently say there has been an altcoin season. So I think a lot of people, in my opinion, and I gotta kind of like revisit even my thesis on selling may go away, because if everybody is saying that, right, everybody, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying that, it's a good chance that this market is going to do the opposite. So I am going to be prepared for either event, right? Whether it be a sell in May or go away event, or a event where we do see an altcoin season, because everybody sells in May. Altcoin season goes down. Altcoins go down to these juicy levels, and you see a lot of those whales, smart money, institutional money, whatever, start to buy up those dips. So just keep that in mind, that you need to have an open mind to things happening either way, opposed to just thinking one way. And I see that a lot in crypto. People just seem to think one way. The total 3 here is showing life, right? We are starting to develop a pattern here, right? Descending pattern here, which 60% of the time these break to the upside if it can hold the structure. I would say hold the magnet here, which is the 25-day EMA. This is the total 3 chart, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Guys, I really, really need you to share these videos and interact with these videos in the comments so we can get more people watching these videos. These are the videos people need to be watching. So this is very, very, very important, because even though we are in a downtrend, right, there's a good chance at some point, take into consideration, this is the weekly chart, that we do get a stock RSI cross. And this is where people most likely will get wrecked, right? They'll either buy altcoins soon as this gets in an oversold area without waiting for confirmation, and maybe altcoins go lower, right? Maybe the stock RSI stays down here, for a while, and then it crosses back up. So you always got to be aware that just because it gets in the oversold area, it doesn't mean that the price is just going to go back up, right? So what we will be waiting for is the stock RSI cross, right? The blue line crossing over the orange line, which is a point of confirmation. And then the second point of confirmation is the blue and orange line crossing over, move this over here, over 20, right? Over 20, right? So that would look like something like this. You got the blue line, peak capitulation, going back, right, and crossing over, right, something like that, right? That was ugly, but you kind of like get the gist of what I'm saying. Hopefully you guys get the gist. Anyway, a bullish cross on an oversold stock RSI, and maybe we can capture some of that liquidity, but that won't in my opinion, be an altcoin season. I'm going to tell you when, I'll give you a time frame on when I believe altcoin season will happen. The others chart is showing exactly the same, but just a little bit more bearish. I'm more concerned with low caps and micro caps, right? Because it's so many of them. So you can't really take this chart for a grain. You know, you got to look at the fact that there's a lot of dilution. Yes, this chart is bearish, right? We did got to get a confirmation candle below the 25-day EMA, which is bearish for the others chart, right? These are the low caps, the micro caps, the shitty of the shitties. But if we can get the stock RSI cross, we can look back at hindsight of this just being a fake out. So we'll just have to be, a little bit more cautious with low caps, but understand that they could be a little bit more rewarding. I also want to point out the Bitcoin monthly chart because not a lot of people talk about the monthly time frame, but this is also very, very, very bearish for Bitcoin, right? Which could be very, very bearish for altcoins, which could set up a massive altcoin season as far as the next leg up if we do, go down from here. So a lot of people is not going to like this, but this is the monthly chart here. Okay. The ugly part of this chart is the fact that we do have a stock RSI cross to the downside, right? Now, the last time we got a stock RSI cross to the downside was here, and it was a fake out, right? It was a fake out, which was fine. We went down, and then we kind of like went back up and hung around, right? That's what we need. We need it to be a fake out, right? And this could be a fake out, right? And I'm gonna tell you why, because this is the monthly chart, right? And this is the one of the longer time frames, right? You can look at 6 month, year, whatever you like to look at, but there is weakness in this Bitcoin monthly chart, right? We definitely don't want this to turn into a head and shoulders pattern. That would be ugly, right? But people who say, "Oh, this is the beginning," are not paying attention to the monthly charts, obviously, because you can see that we've been hanging out here in the overbought area since about June 2023, guys. June 2023. We've been hanging out in the overbought area for BTC, just kind of like chopping around. We did capitulate once here, well, twice here, and then here, but we were able to get back into the overbought level. Can we stay in this overbought level, and how long can we stay in this overbought level? That's the question, right? Previous cycles, you can see that, we kind of stuck out there. I mean, right here, 2016 to a full year, we stayed in the overbought levels, right? Here, 2019 to 2021, I wouldn't even put these two together, right? This was kind of short-lived, but 2021, you see, we hung out here for like 6 months, right? This time, we've been hanging out here for a while, right? We can actually see how long we've been hanging out here for a while. We just go through the date change here. Oh, about 600, almost 2 years, guys. We've been hanging out in the overbought area for almost 2 years. About a year and a half, right? Let's just say a year and a half, right? Because we know the 365 and 365, we obviously know that that's 2 years, right? But then let's say about a year and a half, right? A year and some change. A year and some change, we've been hanging out in the overbought area, right? Which is, we've never seen that besides right here where we hung out about 2 years, 762 days, right? In the year that we did have QE, we didn't hang out there that long, right? It was kind of like fast, short-lived. So depending on, I don't even want to say like people's attention spans, right? You can use this as a kind of like a gauge to see how long we've actually been in the cycle. And we've been in this, overbought area for 611 days. So this is not the beginning, right? This is the monthly chart. We just got a bearish stock RSI cross. There's no confirmation yet because it did not cross above 80, but we do not want this thing to confirm above 80, right? We don't want this thing to confirm above 80 because technically, you know what I mean? It wouldn't keep us out the woods just yet. I want to be honest with you, right? Because you can see here, we could easily put in a higher low from here, right? And just bounce back up. That's the hopium. That's the hopium, and hopefully that's what we get. Now let's talk about altcoin season because we've been seeing a lot of things being oversold on higher time frames, right? We could just go to the weekly. You can see some of the best projects right now are oversold on the weekly, and it also shows you some of the strongest projects: BTC, OM, XRP, Litecoin, HBAR. Some of the ones that are not quite oversold just yet, but could be headed in that direction depending on the state of the market. But what do we know about previous cycles? We know that quantitative easing kind of helps the altcoin market, right? Because altcoins need what to survive and pump? Fucking liquidity, right? Liquidity. I don't know what is up with a lot of these people, and they just ignore this fact. Like, crypto is just ran off like imaginary money. Yeah, it prints imaginary money, but it needs real money. That's what it thrives off. It thrives off real money, real liquidity, right? Kind of like AI thrives off data. So let's talk about a potential time frame here where we can see QE, right? Because normally when you get QE, you get a crash first, then a huge pump, because now the market is liquidated. People feel more rich. The economy has more liquidity. People can buy stocks and not in crypto and risk on assets in general, and not have to feel like they're spending things that, liquidity or capital that can be, put away for responsibilities, right? You always got to practice good risk management. But we're already starting to get signs. So a lot of people have been ignoring some of the latest news with the Bank of Canada. So they had like the meeting and everything with Trump, and there was some key things that may have been discussed in this meeting. So this is just an example, right? The earliest indications for a shift could be seen around March FOMC meeting. Remember, we don't have an FOMC meeting this month. If the Fed reacts to the current economic data or follows Bank of Canada, right? BOC, right? Bank of Canada's lead in adjusting its balance sheet policy. So BOC already has started quantitative easing, and there's been chirps, right, that they are expecting at some point the United States to do as well, right? To do the same, right? To start adding liquidity to the balance sheet, into the economy, opposed to tightening monetary policies. So there's a good chance in March 2025, we will get more information of when QE could pop. Just a time frame. I'm not saying QE is going to start in March 2025, but that meeting, you need to pay attention. You need to put it on your calendar and listen to what they're saying, because they could give us signs that we can get QE. And this is what you want to do. You want to front run the market, right? Then we got this prediction here of we get QE mid to late 2025. Q4, right? Very similar to what we seen in 2021, a huge run up. So if not March, then likely by mid 2025, as economic conditions or need for further liquidity becomes more apparent. This aligns with the end of QT and the potential need to stimulate the economy further. So if Trump continues to kind of like, it's like you walk into the house and you're like, man, I just bought this house, but it doesn't feel like my house. I need to like tear it down and just rebuild it the way I want to rebuild it. And that's what Trump is doing. And people are looking at it like, oh, he's doing things that's messing up the market. Only thing that he's doing is he's preparing the market to go higher, right? He knows that in this current environment, right, with the rate so high and the dollar still rising, that is going to be hard for businesses and specifically small businesses to excel in that type of market. So instead of just like completely just telling Powell or telling these guys what to do, what they're doing, him, Elon, the Doge Department of Government Efficiency, or however you look at it, right? And again, I don't agree with everything that they're doing, like having everybody's data and information. Like a big Elon fan, but I don't know about that aspect of it. But what they're doing is they're kind of like walking in and they're kind of tearing down the house, right? And they're going to rebuild it the way that it could be most, they're going to rebuild this business the way that it could be most successful, because the way that it was given to them in a form that it could fail. So they got to rebuild it. They got to tear it down first, then rebuild it. And at some point, we will get quantitative easing. And that's going to be the catalyst that sends altcoins parabolic. You're already starting to see that we are getting really, really close to a local bottom. If you just go across you can go across Solana tokens. You can look at the AI agent tokens. A lot of them have reset on the daily, the 3-day time frames, the weekly time frames, right? Your favorite tokens right now are resetting on the weekly time frame. So that's bullish. This is the time where you start preparing that liquidity to enter, because that's bullish. Right now, do we truly believe that that's going to start an altcoin season? Highly unlikely. But this could be the next leg up within the range. Do altcoins break that range? We'll just have to see. We'll have to monitor the total 3. Can we break back above the all-time high here? Can we do that? Can we actually, let's see here how that would actually look. Let me show you guys what I'm actually talking about here. I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm looking for something specifically. Path. Okay. I mean, can we, let's say go here to our magnet and then all-time high, right? Can we do that? Is the altcoin market, god dang, is the altcoin market going to put in the next leg up? That's the hopium here, right? That is the hopium here. If we do not, we could possibly get stuck here within this range at the all-time highs. But if we break the range, guess what happens? Altcoins, total 3, go into price discovery once again, and we can get a huge leg up as a lot of that liquidity notices that. So, guys, let me know what y'all think about the current market. It all comes down to when we could possibly get some type of quantitative easing. Let me know when you truly believe quantitative easing will happen. And also, let me know if you think altcoin season will happen at all, or if you think altcoins are dead and we won't have an altcoin season. It's be more like chasing narratives and rotating narratives. So let me know what you think. It's your boy Crypto Billy. I'll see you in the next one.